Breaking news today.
Please subscribe and then check notification box to get all breaking news alerts.
Small Tennessee town on brink of war after what Muslim college professor instructs local Muslims to do to filthy Christians. Back in 2015, a Rhodes College professor in Tennessee became the target of ISIS death threats. Imam Yasser Hadi claims that he was a target when he stood out publicly against the radical-type ideology that ISIS supposedly uses to make all Muslims seem violent and bad. He also claimed a video was chopped up and edited to make him appear as though he hated Christians as well. This of course was blamed on right-wing radicals. So here is a man who has the access and ability to indoctrinate our youth via college and is blaming two completely different groups for both hating him and supposedly railroading him simultaneously. Things that make you go, right? Well, it appears as if he really is radical and hates all Christians. Who knew? As reported in 2015 by Inside Higher Ed, ISIS has declared that a Rhodes College professor, a key figure in American Islam, is an apostate who deserves to be killed. The call came in an article in Daybik, the magazine of the extremist Islamic group ISIS. It attacks Muslim leaders who have criticized the recent murder of the people who worked at Charlie Hebdo, the French satirical magazine. There is no doubt that such deeds are apostasy, that those who publicly call to such deeds in the name of Islam and scholarship are from the duet, colors, to apostasy, and that there is great reward awaiting the Muslim in the hereafter if he kills these apostate imams. A New York Times magazine profile of Qadi in 2011 described him as the rare Western cleric fluent in the language of militants, having spent nearly a decade studying Islam in Saudi Arabia, steeped in the same tradition that spawned Osama bin Laden's splinter movement. Arguably few American theologians are better positioned to offer an authoritative rebuttal of extremist ideology. But the article noted how difficult a role this is, even for someone with Qadi's credentials and following. In 2011, several right-wing groups dubbed him a radical and posted a video in which Qadi says that various statements he made were spliced together to imply that he regularly insulted Christian people. Qadi published a post explaining the context of these various statements and how they meant very different things than what the web critics said was the case, and clarifying that he in fact respects people of different faiths than his own. "I am very grateful to Rhodes College," he said. "They didn't have to, but they stood their ground and realized this was a doctored video of being attacked as a jihadist by the right and an apostate by ISIS." Qadi said that of course it's ironic. It would be funny but not for the fact that it was scary. On Facebook this weekend, Qadi posted thoughts about his situation. "I guess getting death threats from the far right and from ISIS should be a good sign, as that indicates I'm in the middle, and hopefully those threats will cancel each other out." Ironically, both groups also demonstrate how blinded they are in their own ways, and how hard their hearts have become. Each group claims to be fighting for freedom, but in their hatred, they have resorted to terrorism and threats of violence and bloodshed, thus becoming the exact enemy they claim to be fighting. In any case, and as always, I place my trust in Allah, the only one worthy of being trusted, for He will take care of me if I am sincere to Him. Now, ironically, it may well be coming out that this imam is in fact radical, and maybe that video in 2015 wasn't as doctored as he would like the world to think. According to Red State Nation, Imam Yasser Hadi is a college professor in Tennessee who preaches that Christians are shirk and evil and Muslims can take their life and property. Hadi preaches Christians filthy and impure. Consortium of Defense Analysts reports. Yasser Qadi, aka Abu Amr Yasser Qazi, is an American imam and college professor who is described by a 2011 New York Times Magazine essay as one of the most influential conservative clerics in American Islam. Qadi gives regular sermons and lectures, and also appears on a number of Islamic satellite channels in the US, UK, Egypt, and India. In his sermon, lecture in the YouTube audio below, Qadi begins by calling Christians shirk for being polytheists who believe in the triune God, three persons in one God, instead of Islam's monotheist God Allah. Then Qadi really steps up his verbal abuse. He says, since there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah Christians are by necessity and by definition, the most evil of all evils. Like all unbelievers and polytheists, Christians are filthy. They are najisa, feces, urine, a filthy impure dirty substance. Qadi declares that the Prophet Muhammad, and by extension all Muslims, has been commanded to do jihad. What is jihad? Jihad is a means to establish monotheism on the land. The Prophet had said, "I have been commanded to fight the people until they convert to Islam. But if they don't convert to Islam, their life and property are free for the taking, for the Muslims." It appears to me as if this man is quite good at playing their little lie game called taqiyya. His vile hatred and insane assertions against Christians is a horrible but apt description of how Islam in general feels about anyone who is not of the same mindset. Disgusting. Thank you for watching this video. What do you think about this? Share this on Facebook and Twitter along with your comments.